Okay, I see us in the Housecall Pros Facebook group now. Pros, happy Thursday. Welcome to Pro Power Hour. This is a weekly product training webinar that we do every Thursday at this time. If you are new to our community, if you are new to Housecall Pro, I encourage you to put this on your calendar every week. This is a great way to get accustomed to the platform as you're getting started. You can kind of use this in addition to your onboarding that you may be getting. Every week, we take a product or feature or an integration or just something that we think you need to know about, and we present that to you. We do a demo, we tell you a little bit about the benefits of why you should use said product, feature, integration, and answer your questions most importantly. So, encourage you, bring your questions, show up every week. We have a recording library in our help center. So you can go back and watch any session anytime. We've done a session on almost every piece of Housecall Pro. We're only missing a couple of things. And we update these regularly. So as features come out, as we make enhancements, we do new sessions so you get the most up-to-date info. And if you're on Facebook monitoring the threads, if you have any questions along the way, I'll be able to stop and get those answered for you. But I'm really grateful. We normally have Phil here. He's one of our onboarding specialists, but we've got him off this week, and we've got a special guest here from Ply, since we're going to be talking about our inventory solution. It's an integration with Ply. You might have heard about it. You might have heard about it in the Facebook group. Maybe you've seen something in one of our newsletters. This is a great opportunity to learn a little bit about it, get your questions answered. So Annabelle, welcome. I want to give you a moment to introduce yourself and then we can get into it.
Thank you so much, Chris, for your invite, and nice to meet everyone here. My name is Annabelle Tang, and I'm a customer success engineer here at Ply. If you've already used Ply already, we might have met and during our weekly calls or monthly calls. So nice to see you back here during this call. I'm very excited to be sharing with you today a little bit more about Ply and the different features and how the integration works between Housecall Pro and Ply. So yeah, excited to start anytime we're ready.
Yeah, go ahead and jump right in. Just want to mention again, anybody that has questions, we'll be monitoring the chat. We'll be sure to stop and get those answered for you. And I'll also drop the link if you're interested in getting a demo or going forward with Ply. You're kind of going to get a demo today, but yeah, if you want more information and connect with the team, I'll be able to give that to everyone.
Sounds good. And I haven't used Zoom for a while, so excuse me
Yeah.
if I'm doing something wrong here.
Okay.
I am going to share my screen. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show us a little deck to walk us through what Ply does, who we provide the service for, and then we're going to hop onto the Ply platform and talk about some of the features, highlighting the ones that are relevant for this integration. And then after that, we're going to go over the integration on the Ply platform to specific items. And I'll also show a share screen where you see side by side how Housecall Pro and Ply works together. So that should help you paint a picture on how the informations travel through the integration between Ply and Housecall Pro.
Awesome.
So I'm going to share my screen on the deck. Can everyone see my Housecall Pro and Ply deck here? Okay, thank you.
I can see it. Looks good.
Awesome. And Chris, feel free to share the Ply link in the chat too
Yep.
when you have a moment. Thank you. So Ply is a AI-powered inventory management and also purchasing platform. We enable we provide the service to, we work with the trade contractors, businesses to essentially streamline your inventory management process and also scale your businesses. We provide tools to not just the technicians, but also across the entire business for the billing team, warehouse managers, and also higher up leaders, things like reports, to give you an insight across all locations about your management, about your inventory, where you are in terms of your purchases, all the way to able to see how the materials have been moving ins and outs across different locations, and also in and out of jobs too. One of my favorite, and we're gonna probably have, if we have time, dive into this, but one of my favorite feature on Ply can speak to the value on Ply very much. My favorite feature on Ply is this feature called rolling replenishment, where once you set it up on your for your truck location, enables it will generate a daily pick list, during on a time that you select, and this allows the warehouse manager to be able to pick out materials that the trucks are running low on or running out of while the technicians are out, done for the day, to prepare the materials and get them ready for the technicians to pick up from the warehouse on the second day. So, that will save the technicians some time from, while they're driving to the jobs. They don't have to worry about running out of materials in their trucks. And they don't have to drop off their jobs in the middle of the workday just because they need to go to Home Depot, for example, to buy something for the job. That will enable the technicians to focus on the job more, and also allow the warehouse to purchase materials on a more regular basis, procure a larger purchase each time, and lowering the cost of each unit too. So that is my favorite feature, rolling replenishment. And if you get a chance to use Ply, definitely check that out. But I feel like that speaks to, the core idea here, that Ply is here to save your business time, so you can do more jobs and also increase your billable hours that way. Yeah. I will skim through this, but we do provide a lot of different solutions across the platform. For example, for technicians, our co-founders, when they first started this product or this platform, they were staying in the warehouse and work with business owners and also technicians out of their trucks for a couple of months to identify what the problems are and come up with the right solutions for those problems. Some of the solutions, including for technicians, this means that instead of typing in or calling into the office to find the right materials, they have visibility into what they have on their truck, even when they're not inside a truck, on the mobile app, and be able to scan and find materials very quickly if they have the material barcode. And then for warehouse managers and for the other admins, they will be able to track where the materials are, tools have been. So if they're missing a tool in the warehouse or in the truck, they will be able to track their activities and retrace the tools and materials very quickly. There are also auto replenishment triggers, for example, like rolling replenishment and also replenishment lists that helps the managers get insights in terms of what materials need to be replenished. And also, we have a great purchasing module that allows you to submit purchase orders and also submit requests for quotes from vendors too. Now, talking a little bit about the integration. To those of you who have never heard about integration or used anything that involves integrations, integration is not scary. And that's something I can point out first. If I have to think of a metaphor, I would say integration between Housecall Pro and Ply is kind of like setting up the connection between your phone and your phone service provider. So your phone is sending information to your phone service provider company, and also that company is sending that information to your phone. So it sort of acts like that way. And between Housecall Pro and Ply, the information that we pass through the integration include price book materials, technicians, and also jobs information. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that once we get to the platform. I'm going to pause here to see if there's any questions about Ply or what the integration is like.
anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll give it a second. Um, Say hello to everybody on Facebook here. I see we got a few people watching. Thank you, Shayna. Yeah, we were learning all about inventory management. Yeah, thanks for shouting that out, sharing it with other pros. Okay, Annabelle, I think we can keep moving.
Okay, perfect. Nice. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Um, After integration, I also want to talk a little bit just about our customer journeys. Our platform is super easy to use, but there is a little bit of a legwork to during the initial process of moving the materials into to Ply platform. Now, if you have Housecall Pro price book stocked up with all the materials, that is great because it will only take like a couple of I would say less than 30 seconds sometimes to for some of my customers to load all the materials and pass them through the integration from Housecall Pro to Ply. Now, if you have materials on a spreadsheet or even on paper, we have services that will help you, move the materials information from paper to spreadsheet and upload it to the platform. And I believe both Housecall Pro and Ply also have features that allows you to upload the spreadsheet to each of our platforms too. So that's a really simple process to do so. We work with customers very closely, and my customers will know that we work during the onboarding process. We will work together on a weekly basis to from the 0 to 1 until your platform is set up and you feel like you're right, good to go. Then we'll move on to more on weekly call basis or monthly call basis. So we never let your hand go when during the onboarding process. So if you have any questions, definitely you can let us know at any time. Besides the customer success team, we also have a couple of other teams, including support team who can provide closed service to our customers. One additional team that we have is called warehouse implementation team. So if you ever feel like setting up Ply onto your platform, setting up Ply in your warehouse into your system is a little too much for you and your team. We can always come out and help you with that by setting up the Ply barcodes into your warehouse, setting up a truck, and also training your team on and training both admin managers, members, and technicians on how to use Ply based on your role and take it from there. So yeah. And then lastly, this is I think my second to last slide. If you ever have any questions or want to speak speak to us about anything Ply related or how you want, if you want to learn about how Ply can help your business, feel free to scan this QR code. It will lead you to a booking link. We also will be passing around a link in the chat. It's going to be a very similar link where you will be able to book a demo call with our team. So you can learn more about Ply that way.
Awesome. I love all of the
Yeah.
support, by the way. It's great that you guys do so much onboarding and support in the initial weeks. I know a lot of integrations. It's like you get one call and that's it, and then you're on your own. And you're chatting with somebody, and so having that hands-on help is a huge plus.
Absolutely. Oh, and I forgot to mention, thank you so much for bringing that up. We did recently launch a new onboarding process, a self-assisted onboarding process, which if you're someone who likes to start before onboarding, call start, which I have a couple of customers who've done that. They came to the call ready to go with everything set up because the onboarding process was very thorough for them, self-assisted one. So by the time we hop on the call, they were like, yeah, let's, how do you use this feature? I went through the material uploads and etc. So we do have one that enables you to run at your own time too. And we do have a little reward for anyone who finishes on a specific time range. So definitely check that out when you have a moment. And I'll also, once we get onto my platform, you'll also be able to see that too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to pause here and see if you have any questions or anyone has any questions.
Check in our Facebook feed here. So we still got a couple of folks.
Oh, hey, Santa Cruz, California. I love that town.
Nice. Not too far from me. Yeah.
Nice.
Got pros all over the map.
Yep.
Awesome. Before you switch gears and start showing us a little bit on screen, I know a lot of our pros, this was one of the questions that came from our
Mm,
Facebook group. A lot of our pros have been considering different inventory solutions. I know a lot of them have tried to make Sortly work, and I know that's a common question of like, well, how does this vary? Is Ply more geared for my industry? Can you talk a little bit about how you compare to some of your competitors?
sure. I we do and first of all, I feel like everyone's tools are great and everyone is great at different things. Um, I can only speak to Sortly right now, since that question was, it sounds
Yeah,
like it's specific to Sortly. Sortly is great, and we have a lot of customers who came from Sortly too. Um, I do notice that they when we talk about Sortly, they did mention that they have a very similar. There's a very similar barcoding system, and you can manage materials on Sortly too. Um, but we manage materials in a different way. Whereas Sortly manages materials, I think like by folders, or perhaps it's similar to Housecall Pros, like household categories. Whereas Ply manages materials by locations. This enables you to see where materials are at which locations, not just materials, but tools too. So you can track, for example, if I'm looking for, I bought 5 hammers, but they're all now, gone from the warehouse because, my technicians are using it. I will be wondering where, where are the hammers? Like who is having them, and when can I get them back if I need them for a next job, an upcoming job? Like how do I retrace? Where do I retrace them? Who do I ask to find those hammers, so I can get them to the technicians who's working for the next job? So that is something that Ply is really good at, providing visibility into materials and quantities and minimums and maximums of each the levels of each materials in each location. And additionally, from what I've heard, Sortly does not integrate with Housecall Pro as well. So
oh,
yep, that is one of that is probably the strongest um,
yeah,
point here, is that if you do use Housecall Pro is great, and we work with Housecall Pro through integrations too. So definitely check us out for that. And yeah, other than that, I would say Sortly is a great tool, but probably for something else. If you're already working with Housecall Pro, so does that help answer your question?
yeah. No, that was great.
Okay.
I wanted to mention that just because I know a lot of our pros, are using Sortly and it's not working
Mm,
for them, or they're trying to decide. And so I thought it would be good to just, aside from
yeah,
the integration, talk about maybe some of the other differences.
yeah,
So yeah.
awesome. Any other questions?
I don't see anything coming in, but I bet once you start showing a little bit on screen, I think that's when we're gonna get some submissions.
Sure, sure. Um, cool. I'm gonna first share my screen on the Ply side, and once we're ready to talk about integration, which is gonna be like after going through the Ply features, I will then share a screen on the left-hand side screen. It's gonna be Housecall Pro, and on the right side, it's gonna be Ply. You can let me know if the share screen or split screen makes the fonts too small. So even though you can see both sides, you end up not seeing everything,
Yeah.
So we can try that out. Um, and okay, let me do this real quick. Oh, hi, Zoom. Let me see. Let me just make sure this is the right screen. Can you see my Ply platform?
Yep, we're looking at the dashboard.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. So welcome to the Ply platform. This is the Ply platform. When you first log into your Ply account, this is the dashboard page that you will see. We have a couple of different, like I call these modules. We have a couple of big modules, dashboard, purchasing, catalog, stock, jobs, reports. And at the bottom, we have settings. And on the right, we have a very nice support channel too, where you can reach out to our support team and get an answer to a question during business hours, usually within 2 to 5 minutes. Um, and I'm there's also this is the new onboarding process that we have recently launched, which I love. You can go through these to learn about the platform, and we also have video tutorials and a very robust help center too to walk you through any features you can and any workflows that you may think of. So definitely worth to check it out. But outside of the onboarding process, we um, our dashboard is also very robust. It enables you to track, for example, material usage and also overall, inventory value over time. We have great notification board that allows you to track different field requests coming in from the technicians if they're running out of, materials from their trucks. So lots of great charts here. Not going to dive too deeply into this. If you want to know more, contact us via the demo link. But I do want to talk a little bit about purchase order because that is something that the integration has. Ply and how the Ply to Housecall Pro integration is bi-directional. What that means is once the integration is set up, information passes from Ply to Housecall Pro and back to. Now we have a couple of settings that enables you to configure the integrations differently, but overall, once the integration is set up, Housecall Pro's price book materials will come across to Ply. Jobs from Housecall Pro will also come to Ply, and technicians too. If the technicians have the same, we will be able to invite technicians to the Ply platform if they use the same email address across, shared by both platforms. Now, purchase order is also that's one of our newest releases where we can also keep track of purchase orders on the on the Housecall Pro job too, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. We have something called catalog. A catalog is like if you ever received like a magazine catalog or shopping catalog, it has materials across all of your locations and also keep tracks of materials that you might have uploaded as a vendor catalog so we can do purchasing on the platform too. Here as an example, I'm looking at materials and under the sprinkler pipe, I'm able to see, oh, now I have like 64 sprinkler pipes across the entire, across all of my locations. Which location has sprinkler pipe and how many do they have in each location? And besides materials, we also have some consumables, kits, and tools. Materials are something that what I call when I bring to a job, I will leave it there because the customer have pay for it. So if we're thinking about air conditioner installation, a job like that, the air conditioner will be a material in that case because the customer paid for it. You installed it during the job. You can also think of pipes. Some examples here are like throttles and different materials. Those are also materials. Consumables. Oh, sorry. One more thing to note on material is that materials do go across the integration to Housecall Pro and stay on Housecall Pro's job invoice or job inputs. Consumable is something that that we want each truck to carry something like a pair of gloves, kitchen towels. You're not going to charge your customer for using 2 pieces of kitchen towels, but you do want to know, does your truck carry enough paper towels or enough pairs of gloves so that the technicians can do their jobs properly. So this is something that do not go over to Housecall Pros through the integration, but you can track on Ply through the system. Kits are, you can think of kits like a package of material. If for example, for one of my favorite example is like toilet fixing kits. So for sometimes to fix a toilet, and for most of the customers I work with, fixing toilets usually use a specific set of materials, and you can then group these materials into a kit, and that goes across to through Housecall Pro's integration as a single line item to the invoice or to the job inputs. Tools are tools. Tools are something that I call you bring to a job, and then you bring back, because this is something you own and you don't, the customer pays for the usage, but you don't leave it at the job. So something like I would say even ladders, you can track them. There are like hammers, wrenches. Those would be good examples of tools. Now stock is another place where we keep track of materials and consumables, tools, and kits. Now you may ask me, Annabelle, like both catalogs and stocks keep track of those things. Like, what are their differences? Stock, in my term, mimics what you actually have in real life. So when you set up warehouses, the warehouse here, you will want what's on this list to match what you actually have in your warehouse in real time. Same goes to trucks too. So if you, for example, I have as an example here an installation truck and a service truck. If you want to set these trucks up on Ply on this platform, then you would want to know actually count what you have on the truck and set those materials up on the Ply platform. So when you click into this truck, and as a technician, when you assign the technician to the platform or to the truck, they will instantly able to see what they have on the truck at any given time. Information, like when you transfer something from one location to another, that changes of information, that exchange of information happens in real time, and we can track those too. Now, lastly, jobs, or not lastly, second to to last, this is jobs. All of the jobs here come from Housecall Pro because I have set up the integration beforehand. You can see that the job number, the date, this is the customer name, and also the job address comes through. The technicians who have been assigned to the Housecall Pro job, and who also have been set up on the Ply account, they are also showing up here too. And when I click into one of these jobs, you'll see that previously I was playing with the platform. So, materials that are showing up, like when I transfer materials from the stock location to a job, which I'll show you in just a little bit, they will show up on here. And whenever these materials show up on the Ply platform, they will also show up on your job too. I'm going to pause here because I just said a lot of things.
Yeah.
To see if anyone has any question.
Yeah, thank you for going through that. And we've got a quiet
Yeah,
crowd today. I do want to call out that the integration, and I believe you spoke to this earlier during the slide deck, will only work with jobs, not with estimates.
correct.
Yep, yep. I feel like
Yeah,
that
that's
was
a good catch. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Y'all don't be shy. If any questions come up at any time, put them in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. All righty.
All right.
Cool. Now I'm gonna first show you, I'm actually gonna go to the settings first, show you what integration looks like, the settings and everything. Uh, so setting up the integration is super simple. I've already set it up here on this platform, but it will look kind of like this button right here, where once you click into it, it's gonna ask you um, to select the FSM tool, and you will select Housecall Pro. And if you keep on clicking next, selecting next, setting up the right warehouse and etc., it's going to take you like 5 or 6 clicks total to set up the integration. So super simple. Once the integration is set up, now we're seeing a couple of settings here. This is one of the, we do have to choose a warehouse to first load all the information from Housecall Pro's price book materials over to Ply. And afterwards, we can then redistribute the materials to, for example, another warehouse or to a couple of different trucks. Ply and Housecall Pro's integration, again, we sync the information that comes through the integration includes Housecall Pro price books materials, and also jobs. Now, what I mean by jobs, besides what we saw earlier, the jobs, it also means the materials will go to job details page on Housecall Pro, either to the invoice line items or to the job input section. I currently have the invoice section turned on, and also I enable the price book sync. So all of my Housecall Pros price book materials have loaded to my platform, and also if I were to transfer materials on Ply, the materials to the job will show up on Housecall Pro's job too, job under invoice. And now earlier, and then there's a setting called purchase order linked to job notes. What that means is if we look at this job right here, previously I did a purchase order. I created one, and then in the purchase order, I'm able to link it to a job. So right here, I link this to a specific job, 1636. And when I do that, I'm able to track whether or not I have placed an order for a specific job inside a job. And that on Ply shows up under the job details page, and on Housecall Pro, that shows up under the invoice notes section. And let me see if I can show you that without overwhelming you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to share both screen now, and let me know if this is too much, and then I'll just share Housecall Pro.
Okay.
Yep. How does this look?
I think we can see that pretty well. I also have a really big
Yeah.
screen, so let us know in
Oh,
the
okay.
chat now.
Yeah. Um, I am also kind of blind too, so that's why I'm wearing glasses. So if you want me to zoom in, I will. I'm happily to gladly oblige. But at the same time, sometimes we might have to scroll left and right. So
Yeah.
if it's easier for me to just share one screen, or for everyone to see if it's just one screen, happy to do that too.
All right. I've got a comment that
Yeah,
looks good, so let's try it.
we're good. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. So before we go back to Ply and show you how to transfer materials into the job, I'm gonna just show you on Housecall Pro, a couple of this job that I just created earlier before the call. This is a job with job number 1636, and on the when I scroll down here on the right hand, on the middle section of
Nope.
this page, we have an invoice section. Oh,
Annabelle, I don't think we're seeing your
oh,
screen. There we go.
how about
Okay.
this?
There we
Sorry
go.
about that.
No, all good.
Okay. Um, so what I'm scrolling on is our Housecall Pro demo account, and I'm scrolling down to make sure we're on the same page. This is the invoice section. On this job, 2 technicians were assigned, both our co-founder Darian and myself as a technician. Um, And there's an invoice section, there are line items, there are materials, there's private notes where the purchase order is listed at, there's job inputs where the materials are, and also there's job costing breakdowns, which I love. This section allows you to see, the margins you're making after, all the services and the materials you're spending on the job. So yeah, I think this is my favorite section on Housecall Pro, probably, besides the price book side. So
Yeah.
cool. I am going to then what I'm going to do is first show you settings, to make sure we're on the same page. Now, some of us here, when not sure if you, just to make sure we're on the same page, those of you who have been using invoice is customer facing, whereas job inputs is internal facing. I've had customers who use invoice, and they like to break down the materials one by one. And we're going to show you what that looks like. And some of my customers like to, instead of breaking down the materials under line item for customers to see, they like to break it down in job inputs so they can track the cost, break down the cost internally, and then create like a flat rate for the customer on the line item side. Does that work? I know that Chris probably knows what I'm talking about, but I just want to see in the chat section, does anyone use one way or the other? And if there's no comment, then I'll go back to sharing my screen. Okay, I think that's probably a sign for me to stop talking and just keep showing. So I'm gonna go and show. I'm gonna go to, on the left-hand side here, I'm gonna quickly set up a quick job. You might find the customer name to be very familiar, because I set up myself as a customer too. And my technician's name is Anna Tech. I'm just gonna save the job this way. So you can think of this as like a today's job or future job, and we have that job as 1639. Here on Ply, I'm going to just do a quick sync. What the quick sync does is, sometimes when the two system is not talking to each other, like when the sync happens, the two systems are speaking to each other and fetching each other's latest updates. But when they're not talking to each other, you can force them to talk to each other, through clicking on that button and syncing, whether it's the job or the materials. Now I have set up a couple of materials before the call. And these materials also sit in my Housecall Pro and the price book, so we can go ahead and check those out too. So in the materials, I created a category called Pipes September 25th. In it, I have copper, rigid pipes, and also sprinkler pipes. And over here, you can see that I do have the sprinkler pipes and then the copper rigid pipes. And you can see that these are coming from Housecall Pro. And since this is catalog, I'm going to go into my stock and figure out, okay, for this job, I'm a technician, right? So I am on one of my trucks. This is my truck, my service truck. I'm a service technician. In here, I have my materials. This is an admin view. On the mobile app for technicians, they will also be able to see that they have these materials on the truck too, if they do have the materials, and update them accordingly. And what I'm going to do on the left-hand side is I'm going to go back to my job 1639. Now, for this job, right, I know for sure that I will need a sprinkler pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my truck, and I'm going to say I need a sprinkler pipe for that job. So I quickly transferred one of that to my job 1639. I need just one, and for the client, this is $50. The reason was that it was sold, and I wanted to sync to the Housecall Pro invoice. I click on this, transfer, and boom, that is already done. And in the activities, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. On the truck activity, you'll be able to see that I have transferred a material from the truck to this job. And you can also do the drop down too. And in the job here, you'll be able to see that this material has been transferred to a job. On the left-hand side, on Housecall Pro side, in real time, what has happened is that when I scroll down and in the line item under materials, the sprinkler is added to there. So everything happens very quickly. It skips the the traditional step of technicians need to jot down what they have used on paper, submit it to the office, and the office type it into the invoice for the customer. Or maybe the technician needs to call in and say that they've used this material. And the office manager then jots things down. Now, if I want, at the end of the day, I added a couple of materials, and when the office manager or the technician check the invoice and be like, actually, I did not use this material. You can delete this material on, remove this material on either Ply or Housecall Pro side for that to, to disappear from the job on both sides. So I'm gonna do this on Housecall Pro side. I'm gonna just refresh my page a little bit. Same job, 1639, here it disappears. Oh, that rhymes. That's so nice. Cool. So that is invoice. Now, if I were to turn on job inputs, that will enable the materials to go into Housecall Pro's job input section. So I'm gonna do that and turn this setting on and show you what that looks like. Now, same scenario, if I need to, do some job and use like a copper rich pipe, but that needs to show up under job inputs, you can do this and transfer it to, I'm going to transfer it to the same job just for the call. And you can see that I'm going to refresh my page real quick. It was loading already, but I could not wait. That the material shows up under job inputs. So it does not show up under the line item anymore. Instead, that setting turns it and redirected to the job input section. Now, we can also then, remove this material here. And a cool thing here is for both invoice line item or for job inputs, if you have them, if the price book was synced, you've done the sync already to make sure that, both sides share the same materials, you do have material in stock. When you add the material here, let's say sprinkler, because that's the one I remember, to the job input section, I'm gonna refresh my page real quick. You'll see that the sprinkler pipe does show up on the job too. Cool. Any questions?
Going once, going twice. I'm sorry. I know
Good deal.
we normally have good questions,
Yeah.
but that must mean that
Um,
you're presenting everything everybody's looking for.
yeah. Yeah. I will show you one more cool trick and then wrap this up and leave the room for any questions. This was shared to me. We discovered this from one of two of my customers. I learned this workflow from them. And before that, let me clear up my job first. So I'm going to, click into that and just clear out the job so it's a clean slate for everyone to see. Here we have price book, and we don't sync with services, but we do sync with materials on price book. But for these customers, and they set up a service, and I set it up called PTAC installation, where I've already set up some materials, right? The rigid pipes and sprinkler pipes. I attach the materials to the service. So the cool things here is now when I go back to my job, of course, if I can find it. So now there's like nothing on line item and there's nothing under job inputs, right? But when I add the service PTAG, installation, after it loads, you'll see that it automatically, oh, it did not pull the material down. Um, it would pull materials into job inputs. So the material will automatically be triggered to be pulled under job inputs. And on Ply, you can also see them here too. So for those of you who like to do a flat rate service, and then for things like that, for services that you always use a couple of some materials, you can do it like this. And one last cool thing is if we were to create a kit right here. Sorry for a last minute. I know I said that was the last one, but let's say if we do a test kit, um, creating on the spot, of course, and save. And if we transfer this kit to a location, I'm going to say my warehouse, and then transfer it to the job. Just want to show you that it is a flat rate showing up on a job. So you can either do the service or you can do the kit here to depending on your workflow here. Perfect. Kits. And then when I refresh my page, under the job inputs, yep, we have a flat rate here for test kits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's everything I have about the integration. Any questions?
It looks like Haley submitted this right after we had asked for questions a few moments ago, asking about location changing. Will it default to come up under the from location each time, and will you need to manually change it?
Yeah, you can assign so in the company, in the teams, you can assign a location response. So if, for example, if I were in multiple trucks, then you can I can default like which truck it should pull from. But usually when the technician, like right now we're doing this from a admin's view. So admin automatically can see across all location. But for technicians, based on your use case, of course, but a lot of the times you might want to assign them to only their trucks. So they, when they look into the mobile app, they will have a focus view on just their truck, and they will be able to transfer material directly from their truck to the jobs. So the system doesn't have to decide for them which location is transferred to, or relying on that assignment. It is for sure coming from their truck that way. Does that answer your question, Haley? Awesome.
All right, great. Annabelle, thank you so much.
Of
Y'all have a
course.
chance if there's any last minute questions. Um, yeah, we really appreciate it. I'm gonna drop that link again for the demo if you're interested in getting more information. Let me grab that right now. Awesome. Perfect. There's that. Yeah, if anybody's interested, just follow that link and you'll be able to connect with the Ply team. I also want to mention too, if you're watching a recording of this later, if you're on YouTube or in our Facebook group, or you're seeing this elsewhere, I do want to mention we have our Housecall Pros Facebook community if you're not aware of it. And the Ply team is in there. So if you have any questions that come up later and you want to post in there, they'll also be able to help answer inside the group. All right. And then I do want to also plug, we have office hours every Friday. Office hours is at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern every Friday. It's with myself, Lauren Jean, and Matthew, who are from our technical support team. It's a great opportunity to come meet other pros, network with each other. It's a totally open format. So bring your house call pro questions, your business questions, and we all just kind of hang out for an hour. I'll drop the registration link for that. I know there's been some interest lately. And then I also want to float it onto everybody's radar. We're going to be doing another virtual summit. That's going to be coming up in December. So that's going to be on December 4th. It's a little whiles away, but I'm going to be hyping that up over the next few weeks. And it'll be another great opportunity to come and get some learning, see what we're doing here at Housecall Pro, and take away some business education. So here's that link for office hours as well. And then sneak peek over the next few weeks for Power Hour next week. And the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about some of our AI features. So we're going to be talking about our AI teammates. We have our CSR AI, which is very popular, but there's also a coach AI, an analyst AI, a marketing AI. You might not be aware of how to use them in Housecall Pro. So we're going to be talking about what you can do with each of those over the next couple of weeks. We're also going to be covering Housecall Pro Assist, HCP Assist, which is our call answering service. You can get a virtual assistant. Essentially, they're not really a VA, but they can answer your phone calls and book jobs for you. And then later on in October, we're going to be doing some general onboarding sessions. So if you're interested in doing a crash course on Housecall Pro again, maybe you have a new employee, you have a new technician or a new office assistant, it's a great opportunity for them to get a crash course in an hour every single part of the system. So Phil will be back for those. And otherwise, we'll have the recording available in our help center, and we'll catch you all next week. Yeah, Tony, that's going to be in mid to late October. If you actually follow our in our help center, we do post the upcoming topics. And so as long as you're registered for this, you'll receive that. You'll be here for it or you'll get the recording. Awesome. Okay. Well, Annabelle, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here, and we'll see everybody soon. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Mhm.